up, everybody? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 201, and we're recording on August 8th, 2022. I'm Doug, and joining me today we got Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
As a quick reminder, check out SojuTalk on your favorite podcast platform, sub to us on YouTube, and join the SojuTalk Discord and be a part of the nation. Alright, not really an announcement or anything, but because we're in Season 5 now, right? We've been seeing comments once in a while about like why we choose certain songs, why we don't choose certain songs. So with the Season 5, we feel like we would like to reiterate what goes into us picking songs for the week, right?
Fair.
Primarily, we cover title tracks. Like 95% of the songs we'll cover, 99% are title tracks, meaning that big comeback from a group that is meant to be the big comeback for them, right? Additionally, almost like never will we cover an OST or some kind of sponsorship song or something like that, unless the week is super dead or something
Very
like
rarely.
that. Super rarely. And lastly, for the most part, generally the songs are in Korean, unless it's like one of the bigger groups are releasing a particular English title track. I.e. like the Twice thing they did last year, or some of the BTS stuff, or one of the Blackpink songs. But for the most part, title tracks, no OST or sponsored songs or things like that, or collab songs, collab with a brand songs, and generally they are in Korean. So that is the main thing. But finally, we're not 100% dictated by our patrons. The Gochujang Gang voted on it, but they have a big play in what we cover on a daily basis. Meaning that we have the right, let's say for some reason, not that they would ever do this, but let's just say Twice is coming back and it lost in the poll we put up for them. We're still gonna cover Twice. Let's be real here. But by and large, we do follow what they vote on, and we pick generally 3 songs from there, unless it's an extremely packed week, and then we'll choose like 4. But that's pretty much the song selection process.
Yep.
I wanted to say that because the BTS song with the Benny Blanco and Snoop Dogg completely got wrecked in the polling this week. Like, it got like no votes, so we are not covering that. But the songs we are covering are tracks from Yena, Girls' Generation, and Golden Child. So Golden Child did beat out the BTS song this week. It is what it is. But that being said, I don't think that BTS song really falls into our criteria anyway.
That was a nice song, except for Snoop Dogg's part. But hey,
I wasn't a huge fan of the act. I wasn't a huge fan of the acting either.
Oh, from Mr. Benny, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go into the actual songs we're covering this week. The first one is Yena with Smartphone. So she is from Yehua. Debuted 2018 with IOI. Her only other solo track is Smiley, which she did win a music show for.
Very nice.
All right, let's go.
Right off the bat, this song's pretty similar to Smiley, right?
Very
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smiley's a better song.
Whoa!
Right off the bat, you know.
I was a little confused because I don't feel like one is essentially better than the other, but because one came before the other,
It feels newer, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
second one loses its luster right away, I guess.
You know, I don't think there's anything particularly too bad about this song. It's kind of like a, like a teen. It almost feels like this song's geared towards like children and teenagers. You know what I mean? I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, I guess
like,
it could be, yeah.
there's like a vibe to it. Super positive and upbeat again. There are some angsty sections. You know, Yena's doing her thing. She's having this really playful energy, which we saw in Smiley already, bringing it back, running it back one more time. I have other concerns. I'm gonna let you guys talk about the song first. I have more problems with like the overall what's going on with Yena with this kind of direction.
I don't think it's easy. It's difficult to disagree with that take, honestly, because like there's a lot of the similar elements that we saw with Smiley, like the similar punk rock elements are still here. The positivity is still here. The melody, the top line sounds generally pretty similar. At the moment. Before we get into that, I'm still hearing like some differences though, right? Like I'm hearing a little bit more like electronic sounds in the verses and the intro and whatnot. My first impression was that this might be like a hyper pop track with like the bouncy booming bass and the percussion noises that sounds like camera clicking noises on the left and right. That was pretty cool. And then we got introduced to the similar punk rock stuff that was in Smiley. And I think those transitions worked really well. So in that aspect, I do think she deviated a little bit. And I feel like that might be a potential musical aesthetic that she dives into further in the future, like a kind of like a cutesy, poppy, hyper pop track indie.
Oh,
you
I want
know.
to see that.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
just-
think that might be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, but like,
It's also just super catchy. This thing.
oh yeah,
I feel like for me, I guess I didn't remember Smiley right away, but I could already tell, like, oh, this is quite similar to the debut, right?
Right.
I guess to me, the more punk rock, the guitar sounds here and there sounded a little bit more apparent than what I remembered in Smiley. And I don't know if that's because I was kind of thinking of her B-side to Smiley, Luck to You, or LXXK to You, because that one was like much, much more rock sided, like rock heavier. She even has like, she was performing with the guitar. I don't know if she was playing the guitar, but like that was the look, that was the vibe that she was doing with that song. So I guess I felt like I think she was adding a little bit more of that, which I liked. But in general, this was very, very similar to Smiley. The one thing that I feel like, but I really like this at the same time, is the overall concept. But I feel like it's not for everybody.
okay.
Because I kind of feel like the Decra type of concept she has going on for a lot of her outfits, the set designs, the platform shoes, like I think is pretty cool. And like it's like committing to that look, like going all out with it.
Hold up, Anita. I don't know what Decra is. I'm looking it up on Google.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
getting like a very businessy company site, and I don't think that's what you mean by Decra.
No, I was thinking, I believe that's the term, kind of like an offset of Harajuku fashion
Is it Decora?
Decora. Oh yeah, that's I pronounced it Decra, but maybe Decora is the proper.
I don't know. That's what I typed in. I got the right thing, Anita.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the right thing.
A lot
Okay,
of
okay. I see
accessories,
what it is now.
a lot of like hair accessories, rings.
Yeah, no,
necklaces.
you're right. You're
very
right. I see
kawaii.
influences.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's very
kawaii.
It's very cute, right? So I feel like that vibe kind of suits Yena. So it makes sense that they would attempt this concept. But I'm kind of guessing that Doug is gonna get to this, but I feel like it might be a little limiting sometimes.
It's limiting. Okay, great term.
Oh,
I was gonna
limiting.
say there's not enough room for depth with this kind of concept if we keep doing it.
Well, I guess some people, like, I'm thinking of other like kind of like Decora, a type of artist that from Japan usually, that I feel like kind of veered to this more cutesy maybe sound, but like with a little twist, like Kairi Pamu does something like that.
Oh, yo, I'm a fan of her.
But
No.
like her sound is also like very, very distinct, where it's like if you don't like it, you probably won't hear much difference in like different releases. So I don't know. It depends on the audience that you're trying to get, I guess.
Okay, I don't know if I mentioned this during the Smiley review. Number one, big Yena fan, right?
Yeah.
IOI stan. Let's go.
Yeah.
There's just something about Yena's music videos, both of them, that feel like 5 to 10% overacted. Now, I get that a lot of K-pop is a lot of like acting, a lot of like in a superhero track. These kids aren't superheroes. You know what I mean? But like I've seen a lot of Yena on variety shows, on other content she's in, right?
Yeah.
This persona that gets put on for these Yena music videos, I think is like a little too much. Maybe it's just me.
Is it too campy compared to her real
Yes.
personality?
I feel like it's a little bit, you added a little bit too much MSG on it,
I see.
And I also feel like, okay, so we've had 2 tracks from her. They're both in this similar direction. I feel like if we keep doing this, like I'm the happy, positive person, over and over again, I feel like it's gonna get a little stale.
Here's what I think. Like, happy positivity as a concept, I think, is actually one of the most difficult concepts to pull off.
For
It's
sure.
hard. Yeah.
Because there's only so much you can do. You're gonna tell people to be happy. What else?
Yeah.
Like if you're talking like if we're talking about like music that has like like if I'm talking about breakup, there's so many like ways to tell that story that's already out there, and there's different takes on it, where I feel like that has a lot of room for a lot of depth and different takes on it. Going in this direction, that's, I honestly think it's easy on the surface, but very difficult to actually dive deeper into.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That being said, this is only her second comeback, right? First comeback technically, right? Her second release following her solo debut. It feels like she's extending the aesthetic that was already there with Smiley. So for the most part, I'm kind of like, hey, you know what? If you want to dive deeper into that for now, go for it, because it's a lot better than doing something 180 degrees different and then throwing everybody off.
Yeah, you know? I think we're really honing in on the positivity of the energy of the song, because the song in itself is actually about an introvert like reaching out to people via their cell phone. That's literally the concept. But it's ironic because she's clearly an extrovert in her other things, but she's writing a song from an introverted perspective. I don't know. That's food for thought.
Wasn't she like an I something?
Is she I? Okay, because from what I can see,
she's on ENFP. Never mind.
E, right? Yeah,
Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
That being said, I would like to see where they go with this. I wonder, because at a certain point, it's like Yehwa's gonna be like, we got to keep switching it up to some extent, right? I'm very curious to see if they go for this type of vibe on the third song.
I feel like
no.
You go ahead, Warren.
No, keep going.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, when I think of like artists who might go for this type of concept, right? There tends to be some sort of aspect of like oddness, right? Like right now it's just the positivity, which I don't think is odd. I think it's just quite safe and like public friendly. So I feel like you could go a route where it's like super like weird, or I guess slightly darker, because I'm thinking of what Luck to You was, right? And that B-side. And I keep referring to it because I thought it was really, really nice and not as limiting as what she did in the title track, where she did more of a rock heavy sound, a lot darker concept and like styling, and like all around I thought was very different. It'd be interesting if she does like a combination of both, where you're not going like full on like dark rock, punk rock, or like full bright positive concept, something in the middle. I think that would be interesting to see.
Here's the thing. I think we're talking about staying in the similar, punk rock or that kind of thing. The thing is, like, there's definitely different musical genres, different aesthetics, different kinds of beats that will be positive, one, and two, also support this kind of melody, Like it's, it's push, swipe, okay, like that. There's so many different genres out there that will, follow up with this kind of like style. Like she could do UK garage, like K-pop does that every now and then with conjunction to like deep house, That'd be really cool. It's still positive. It's a different take on that melody and definitely a different energy, right? Because deep house is a lot more like chill, laid back, while keeping that energy, while this is like teen punk, kind of energy, right? So like there's definitely, if you want to, I think for Yena, right, she definitely wants to keep that message. I think that I can't change that. It sounds like Yuehwa is like definitely set on that aesthetic, but there's different ways to do it, and I feel like she does not need to lean heavier into the punk rock thing, because that I think is the biggest limiter. Hyperpop you mentioned as another alternative.
Hyperpop I think would be nice.
Yeah, I just want to switch it up a little, because I feel like she's gonna pigeon like hole herself by keep going this way.
I still think the music video is cute though, like the whole
of course,
video game thing.
Interesting. One of the cameos, or like the actor guy under the costume at the one point where he got demasked. He's one of the. Have you noticed that was the guy from Uyongu?
Yes, I did notice.
Yeah, he was the guy in the Pororo episode.
Second show,
second episode.
He's a famous YouTuber in Korea called Badonosu or Bunsang-hun. He's known for doing like fake internet lectures. Acts like he's an internet lecturer, but like wastes time, and he'll be like, you know what? There's internet skits out there. Watch them. It's very funny.
Not too bad from Yena though. I still like the vibe though.
Yeah.
I just think we could do a little bit more. All right, let's move to the next one. probably this is a massive comeback, right? First one in 5 years. It is
Boy.
Sojutalk Girls' Generation with Forever One. They are from SM Entertainment. Debut 2017. Last 3 songs: Holiday, All Night, and Lionheart. Those are some like old songs now.
Oh, man.
98 music show wins so far.
98.
Wow.
This experience is as much about the coming together as it is the song, right? Like,
Yes.
you got if we look at it, this is a pretty monument. Who would have thought we would have had Big Bang and Girls' Generation release music in the same year in 2022?
True.
Yo,
yeah.
who's next?
Yeah, who's next? Wonder Girls?
Wonder Girls.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's do it.
How about a 5-person TVXQ come back? Can you see that happen?
Oh
No
my
way, that will never happen, dude.
That would be like amazing if
It
it
would
did
only happen if
it'd be
Yuno and Max.
amazing.
It would only happen if Yuno and Max left SM. That's the only way it would potentially happen.
Oh.
But let's go back to another SM group, Sojutalk. Huge event. This song Forever One, right? Clearly, everyone knows what this song is about, right? Like this is the most
Pretty
this is the most
straightforward.
straightforward song. Like, I know there's a little bit of a double message where this could be there's like romantic lines somewhere in here as well, right? The lyrics, but we all know what this song's kind of trying to do, right? Everyone
Girls
can talk.
Forever One. Yes.
Yeah. This is Kenzie doing some good work, and we've been a little bit critical of
Yes.
Kenzie as of late. I think this
Kenzie.
is her back to her groove. This is a song that kind of has some of the stylings of some of the older songs back in the day. I would say early 2010s Kenzie stuff is kind of embedded in here.
Okay.
Overall, pretty solid song. I don't really have any extreme complaints other than complaints I've always had about Girls' Generation songs, which I'm not gonna dumpster anyone at this glorious occasion today.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh, dang.
I'm
okay.
curious.
Yeah, same. Now you got.
I have never been a fan of a certain person's rapping, and it's been historically similar
okay.
the whole way. Maybe. How do you guys feel about this?
I felt like I was in a big stadium, you know.
Yep.
It felt like I was in one of those like big stadiums, and everyone's like chanting, "VR1,"
Yes.
woo, you know, like that was really cool.
This is the last song before the encore, isn't it? Right? This one?
Pretty much.
Or maybe this is the encore. I don't know. It's
It
somewhere
could
there.
be the encore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's already crying, you know, tears in their eyes. That kind of song. That there's a lot of homage paid to Into the New World, which is their debut.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
I heard it.
The most explicit one is the bridge right after the 2nd chorus. The piano riff from New World is G F sharp D, which is like bum 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 bum. That thing is played 2 keys upwards so that it matches here. So it's A G sharp B, ba 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 bum, and it plays in the background. And the moment it comes in, I was like, bro, like man,
Wow.
man, that was great. I think the lyrics refer to Into the New World at some point as well. In the lyrics as well. So that was really cool. Go look up the lyrics. It's, I don't know, it's so rare. Actually, you know what? This is pretty much the first time a girl group has like come back in this length of a career without having broken up and then, you know, reuniting in a different event or so. Like this is like they came back as a normal group after like 15 years of being active. So I really appreciate that they're like throwing back to like day one, you know, like that's, you know, that's crazy. That's crazy. The song itself, I feel like there's a lot of like good moments. Like the melody starts very low and then like goes very, very high in the chorus.
Super high. Yeah, it's really high in the chorus.
Yeah, that honestly is like I don't know. I feel like something about rising melodies are always like very emotional for some reason. You know, like it's yeah, it's just you know just not a tearjerker. I didn't cry, but like I don't know.
A very nostalgic song.
Yeah. If my toes could cry, I'm sure they would have cried. You know, like that.
Huh?
Is that a term or something?
No, I'm just making things on the spot.
All right,
it's
Anita.
a term now. Toes cry. Toe tears.
Oh, yeah. For me, now that you mentioned the Into the New World melody, they used it for the teaser. I don't know if you guys saw the teaser.
I did, yeah.
But I guess I really, really love that song. It's still a really great song. And when they used it in the teaser, I thought like, oh man, they're gonna use something very similar to that. Like it's gonna be like maybe a like reimagine what this song could be now. Maybe that's where my mind went when they used it in the teaser. But when the song started, I was like, oh, this is not quite like the teaser until we came to the bridge, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's the part that they used. So I guess I kind of was hoping that it would be more of Into the New World, but I understand why they placed it where they had to place it, and I feel like it makes sense because when I listen to the song, it sounds more like a continuation of what SNSD was doing prior to the disbandment.
Yes,
I guess
it sounds like
quote-unquote.
It sounds more like second half.
Yeah,
of
so
the
I feel like it made sense musically, like instead of just going back to previous sound to continue it in a different way. So I like that in general. Also, something that I was surprised by was the vocals, because when I listened to it, I was like, it sounds very appropriate to the group. Like I didn't feel like they were trying to do something that they were not. You know, like it seemed like the vocal harmonization, like who got which line, you know, like it made sense. Like, oh yes, this is what SNSD singing sounds like. They're not trying to do something like super trendy or like I don't know. That's how I felt when I was listening to the song.
If you listen to the rest of the album, I didn't check out everything, but
I didn't check out the rest either. Yeah,
there are a couple tracks that are like very aespa-y, or you know,
I did not know
girls
this.
on top you know,
Okay. Interesting.
not
I'll need to
necessarily
listen to
the
that.
same style, but like you'll get the idea. It's very trendy, like like tracks like "You Better Run," which was like a clear throwback to Run Devil Run,
Devil
right?
Run.
Yeah. Stuff like that. I felt like they did try to like do some of the cool, trendy, ooh, what are the Zoomers into these days kind of thing. You know, they definitely did that. But at least for the title track, I definitely feel like they did what they're capable of, what they're really good at.
Yeah,
but
comfortable.
giving it a fresh 2022 mix, quality, high resolution. You know.
Okay. One of my minor complaints is about something of that realm.
Oh, really?
Why?
I wish it's nothing too negative. It's just a creative decision that was made.
Okay.
I wish that this song had been released 1 week before one of the other songs on the album had a music video drop.
What do
I
you
wish
mean?
it was a double release so my main issue with this song is like we've waited so long for their comeback. And then they essentially released a song that is in a similar vein to one of those anniversary songs, or like the song in itself is about the event. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
I feel like the only issue I have with the song is basically the event instead of actually being a song, and I wish they could have showed us versus telling us.
Okay,
So
I can see what you mean.
I
with
wish
that.
this song had come out and then we had an actual regular song after. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So you wish this was a pre-release, and then we had a regular K-pop release afterwards.
Yes.
Okay. And that could have been like the trendy.
It could have been anything. Anything.
Okay.
Like, I'm not saying this song is bad in any respect, right? I just feel like the song is basically about the comeback.
So you would prefer some separation then, like
Yeah.
not have song and event mean the same thing.
I don't know. I feel like there's a benefit to doing it in all on one package. You know, it's first of all, it's cheaper instead of doing.
Probably.
Okay.
I think the second benefit, which is the real benefit, is that you get one nice little package that encompasses everything, right? Instead of having one thing dedicated to being an anniversary thing and another thing being dedicated to a K-pop release, you get one big, giant gift bag, which has everything that we kind of asked for. And it's not like they've done like anniversary releases in the past. Like the last two releases from this group, if you look back, was SM Station release in 2016, August 5th, which was to celebrate their anniversary. Their sixth full-length album dropped 2017, August 4th, again to celebrate their anniversary. So they've celebrated their anniversary like numerous times at this point. I feel like, you know, like they've got to do. They can't just, you know, have it be like a little side thing. You know, they wanted to make it the main thing. You know, let them do it. What's wrong? Yeah.
I just feel like I'd rather be shown something than told something. You know, it's like we're for everyone. I'm like, yes, you're all here together. Of course, y'all are. You know, that's just how I felt. You know what I mean? I'm not bashing the song in any regards. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I wish I had I know this is a proper release, but as someone whose first K-pop album was a Sonoshide album when I bought it at the H Mart in Fort Lee, New Jersey, back in the day, and my first experience was the G music video when I was a gigantic Girls' Generation fan. I am completely satisfied that they are together as 8, even though I wish they could do it as 9. I really wish they could have. But I'm happy that they're back as 8. I've been watching all the variety content. I just wish I could have had a song that's not just them saying we're together, because I am happy they're together, right? I just wish I could have gotten something a little more.
I don't know. I'm kind of satisfied with them telling me they're together in the song format.
Oh, I feel like I'll be more happy. I'm not gonna be happy if this is the only comeback, but if this was the end cap, then okay, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Why you did this?
I'm sure they'll do more releases at this point.
Right? I feel like they're going to.
Yeah,
you feel like it, right?
I feel like it could happen.
Yeah,
I feel like they had to, because the amount of variety they're doing for this signals to me that they want to monetize this more.
The thing is, they're still on good terms. They still like their fans. They still realize the business value in doing things as Girls' Generation. So I feel like there's definitely...
It comes down to scheduling, really.
Yeah, and they managed to do it once. What's putting them off from doing it another time? Just don't drink drive, Don't do that. Don't... if you bullied in the past, don't do it. Go back in time and erase it or something. I don't know. Just don't create controversies. What I did like about the music video, real quick before we move on, is that it kind of showed all the members doing their own thing, right? In their own individual aspect. Taeyeon was singing with a jazz quartet
on the stage.
Right. Yuna was in a movie set. What looks like, what else,
that was a nice touch. Yeah.
Yeah, Soyeon was
she was running away from monsters, Yuna, at one point. That was kind of
Tiffany on a plane.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like that was a fun, exaggerated version of the reality we live in right now. Not that Yuna runs away from spaghetti monsters all the time, but she is in dramas and movies. So
maybe I just wanted the nostalgic point dance song. Maybe that's what I actually wanted. You know what I mean, though, right? Because there's certain sounds and feelings in K-pop you could rarely get back. This song hits a lot of those points, but not all of them for me. Overall, though, I think this is about as good as this comeback could be, right? I don't think they could have been.
It's pretty good.
I think it was very sufficient for what they wanted to do, for sure.
I wouldn't have complained if there was a little less rap from Hyoyeon, but hey, that's okay. It's representative of who they are, and
that's what I was gonna say. It's representative of them as a group, so I can't. That's why I can't complain too hard about it.
If Hyoyeon was suddenly a great rapper, I would be like, that's not Girls' Generation. That's not K-pop that debuted in 2007. That's not incorrect.
DJ Hyo.
Hey, she wants to be a DJ. Let her do her DJ thing.
I'd be down if I went to the club and Hyoyo was on the DJ thing. I'd be like, that's kind of cool.
I'm getting down. I'm getting down.
Yeah,
I'm bumping.
Back in the day, K-pop groups would randomly show up at nightclubs and stuff and perform. Back in Octagon in Gangnam.
Did they really?
Yes.
Wow.
When I was in Korea, 4 Minutes showed up there at one point. I remember.
Wow.
And some of the kids in my program were there. I did not go that day. I was at somewhere
Dang
else.
It,
but they were there. They're like, yo, we saw 4 Minutes. They just appeared at the nightclub. And some kid was like, I was so drunk. I just knew it was them, though. I lost my mind. Yeah, they used to do that. But these days, with the COVIDs, there's no way that's ever going to happen.
Probably not,
But yeah, this is a good comeback. I like it. It's actually, I looked at the charting, right?
Yeah.
The album, so I know the music video came out, but it actually hasn't been charting all that much because of the album came out today, I believe, the physical.
Okay.
Oh,
So we'll have to see what happens with the charting, because right now it's still 2 of the songs from the UJ Suck show, right? And then it's Love Dive, Attention, Itzy is the top 5 right now. That's crazy.
Wait, Attention's up there?
Attention's number 4 right now. Hype Boy's number 6.
Wow. Good lord.
It's also tied at number 6 with Nyan Pop. 7th is still Tomboy. 8 is That. 9th is Gyeongso, To My Ex. And then 10th is a Big Naughty song. So that's the top 10 right now in Korea on iChart.
Okay.
I know we're talking about Girls' Generation now, but this attention that Love Dive and Tomboy have had this year is insane, right? This Love Dive song.
Yeah.
If there weren't these project songs on, it's still number 1 technically.
Technically,
for base K-pop.
Yeah.
It's insane. Is it song of the year? Is it?
I feel like I kind of have to give it Song of the Year at this point.
Maybe. Yeah.
At this point, right?
I was kind of split between that and Tomboy, but I'm leaning the numbers argue for
The
Love
numbers
Dive
don't
a
lie.
little more.
The numbers argue for Love Dive and it's charting,
Yeah.
right?
It was
It's absolutely insane.
What's crazy is like I'm seeing teasers for an IVE comeback right now. Aren't they coming back in
Yeah.
a couple weeks? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Dude, if this next song for them is a banger, oh my goodness, right?
Game over.
It's game over.
The next track has to be a
IVE.
banger. If it's a banger for them, like they're set for the rest of their
Yep,
career.
safe.
They're safe.
So I guess to wrap up everything I was saying about Girls' Generation, I guess what I'm begging for is another comeback. You know, that's no.
It'd
If
be
you think
nice.
about what I've said up
Can't
until this
complain
point,
about that.
all of my problems would be solved with another comeback, wouldn't they?
Let's hope there is.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's possibility. For
Maybe
it.
they'll do a repackage. They used to do those.
Oh yeah.
They gotta do
Yeah.
holiday repackage. Come on, we could do it 4 months. Come on.
Do Run Devil Run Part 2 or Part 3 now, I guess, because Part 2 is
Oh,
already in the album.
now that we've got there, I'm not complaining anymore. I just am I'm not complaining. Now I'm praying for another comeback.
You're waiting.
Greedy and selfish. Look at you.
Bro, it's like you get the taste, and you're like, bro, we need more now. You know, can I get another hit of that, please? You know?
They gave you a full meal, and that was an appetizer to you. That was what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want more. Which, you know what? That means that they did their job correctly. That I'm having these
True.
concerns.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to the last song. Came out today on 8/8. It is Golden Child's Replay. They are from Woolim. They debuted 2017. Last 3 songs. I think it's, how do I pronounce this? Da 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 da. Something like that. Ra Pom Pom and Burn It with 4 music show wins so far. We have not talked about Golden Child in an absolute hot minute. I don't think.
It's
I
been
might
a
look.
minute.
I might I might look it up real quick. But while I'm looking that up, Anita, how'd you feel about this song, Replay?
I was liking this. I feel like as we mentioned, I haven't really been keeping up too closely with Golden Child. But this particular comeback, just starting off with the sound, it was giving me a lot of, I guess, earlier 2010s. The group that I can compare it to as far as like sound or a song is Beast. So what Highlight used to be called, right? Beast, Breathe. I believe that's the name of the song. It's like a lot of like the sound effects that were used. I don't even know what they're called, but it's like a synthesizer, but it's kind of grainy.
They're EDM synths. That's the easiest way to call them.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since I heard it used in that way in a song, so it was giving me that sort of vibe, and I honestly liked it. I feel like I've missed that kind of sound in K-pop, I guess.
There was essentially a EDM era in K-pop back in like late 2000s to early 2010s. You could call it the Renaissance.
Yes.
You could call it the Middle Ages, whichever you prefer. You know, it was an era of K-pop.
It was a time.
It was a time. Everybody was using a lot of filters and compressors and autotunes on their voices too. Like that was the whole thing. You know.
Yes,
That was the
true.
whole thing.
Yeah.
That being said, not a lot of autotune or noticeable distorting effects here in the vocals, but I definitely see what you mean. I was thinking less of Beast and more of Infinite. Especially, I guess
That
it's
too.
because maybe
Yeah.
it's because they're both Woolim. I don't know. You know, like the.
I was thinking 101 Energetic, personally.
Okay, honestly, I know you said that before you recorded. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I'll be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can kind of see it with the electronic sound though, because I think Energetic had bits of it. So I could see where that was kind of
Especially the first chorus. I mean, the first verse of it. I feel not the chorus though.
Okay, maybe I need to listen to that track one more time from 101, which you literally just mentioned. I can't name again.
Energetic.
Energetic. I'm a goldfish. But yeah, it was it felt like pretty standard, like early 2000s era K-pop, where like we haven't gotten this in a while. Judging by the aesthetic, I was thinking more like, it's gonna sound like a hip hop track that we've gotten from a lot of groups recently, like ATEEZ did recently last week. But no, not at all. I think for the most part, it felt
This is
like
a good song. This is a good song, right?
right. It felt like Woollim was going back to doing what they're really, really good at.
Exactly.
Right. 'Cause that's what Woollim's good at. They're really, really good at writing good top lines, and that's I feel like what
Yes.
happens here, right?
So
Like
we haven't covered Golden Child since episode 108 on August
Oh my
14th,
God.
2020 with Pump It Up was the
Oh,
last
man.
time we talked about them.
Wow,
Wow.
it's been a long
It's almost been
time.
2 years.
Dang it.
This
Something-
song hits all those nostalgic beats, makes you really engage with the music. It has that like, as we were saying, the electronica thing that was from back in the day. It's something about it just sounds good. I don't know how to put
That's
it.
nice.
The chorus is very like solid. The chorus is very strong. It's one of those choruses that you like, oh, I'm having a fun time listening to this song, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's elements of point dances going on in it too. They really like this point thing in it as well.
with the finger.
Oh,
hit a-
okay.
Yeah. One thing I will say is this music video is weird.
Are they in jail? What's going on?
Okay, it feels like Woollim had a limited budget and they're like, we're gonna rent out a jail set, we're gonna rent out a spaceship set, and y'all
Yes,
could just do
spaceship.
what you want to do. That's what it feels like. There's
Do what you
zero
want
like
with it.
there is zero exposition in this song. Like literally zero. And you know
so
what? The
interesting,
funny thing
yeah.
is that's what they did back in the 2010s. They just
That's
put them
true.
in a box. That's
Maybe
what they're doing
also
here.
Part of it,
Right? There's almost no exposition, if any, in this song, which is sort of what happened back in the day, right?
You just
Yeah.
get cool sets and cool costumes. What more do you
Yeah,
need?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like jail, spaceship. We got it. Guardians of the Galaxy. They were in a jail and they were in a spaceship. Boom!
Yo! Where's the raccoon?
That's where it was going.
Yeah. But overall, this is solid for them. I don't know how they've been doing. We haven't been really following their trajectory as of late. Let me go look up some album sales and see what we're working with over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
100 they get over 100,000 album sales now.
Good.
Good.
Their one
As
Game
they
Changer
should.
that they released in August last year, 150K. Yo,
There
they
you
do it
go.
right.
There you go.
They do it
There you
right.
go.
Shout out to them.
They're also doing pretty popular in Japan as well, as far as I remember. So
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, that is good for them. I feel like they really suffered from not being on. Were they on Road to Kingdom?
They were. They got eliminated.
They
too
were the group that got
early.
eliminated.
Way
Yes.
too
y'all
early.
kicked them out.
Okay, yeah, and I think that kind of
That's-
ruined
I
the
was
hype
so
a little
sad.
bit, right? The momentum.
Yeah.
This makes so much more sense now, Anita, right?
Yeah. No, I feel like when I was keeping up with them pretty well in Road to Kingdom, and then when I was so surprised when they got eliminated, because I don't know, I guess I thought they would last a little longer. I liked their performances in the beginning, but yeah, I guess post that it was a little harder to, I guess, keep up or remember what they were doing.
Oh, this is the
Yeah.
group with the weird name. There's a Y and a tag, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a tag.
It's this group. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
the rapper.
I remember back in the day when they were doing the Idol athletic competition. I would be like, this kid's name's Y. He's standing next to this other
Yes.
dude whose name is Tag. I was like, what are these names? That being said, Idol athletic competition is coming back. They filmed it already.
They did.
They
There's some
did.
clips going around.
The weird sport this year is ballroom dancing. It's
Oh my
ballroom
god, do you
sport.
know who like
Anita, I saw the
shown?
spoilers. I
Oh,
didn't
okay,
realize there
good.
was literally a professional ballroom dancer among the K-pop mists.
Yes, we missed it, but yes.
Yeah,
There is
Lauren,
someone
there
there.
was someone who has won multiple national competitions that played sixth at a world competition in
my-
this ballroom dancing competition.
I feel like
God.
it was mentioned, but I guess it kind of went over my head. Like,
You know how
yeah.
people say like, "Oh, this person used to do this." You're like, "All right, yeah, well, I used to do this too," you know. But like, I didn't realize it was to this extent.
Really?
But yeah, crazy. I'm really
Okay.
excited to watch that. It generally comes out around Chuseok, but which means they filmed it extremely early. So I wonder when it's actually coming out. But nonetheless, shout out to Golden Child. Shout out to
Child.
Idol athletic competition thing. Let's go. Other songs that were released this week, right? We have BTS Benny Blanco. I ain't gonna call him Bianco this week. And Snoop Dogg released Bad Decisions. Very interesting music video. It's basically
Quite a
about
story.
him. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a story going on, storyline. It was fun. We had Maka Maka Nvidia. They had a unit released, Warren.
Oh,
wait.
wow.
Unit release.
Maka Maka
Nvidia.
had a unit release. they released only an end credit version music video that looks like someone just filmed it with a DSLR, and it has only 400 upvotes on YouTube.
Man,
or
is the song
thumbs
about
up.
GPUs? Is that why it's called Nvidia? Like, what's
I don't know.
going
It's
on
just
here?
it just doesn't make sense to me. The boys released a pre-release called Timeless, and then legendary group Coyote released Go.
What? No, I've heard of this.
Yeah, so this Maka Maka thing, I don't know what's going on with this group, y'all. Like, someone help them out. I got 19,000 views. We need to help them, guys. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a really strange music video.
Interesting. I'll have to look at it later.
Yeah. All right, we're at Spice King now. We're gonna discuss the Soji chart. We're gonna pick some winners this week. New Jeans Attention. Last week on episode 200, picked up its second crown, so it is up for Hall of Spice this week. Second place, Stacy Beautiful Monster. Third place was AT's Gorilla, which is a really good song. New candidates this week are Yena Smartphone, Girls' Generation with Forever One, and Golden Child with Replay. Okay. Number one, Stacy Girls. You going down the chart. You're going down to third place.
Okay.
So we were in third place. You know, I've had my time with the song. Now that we've been like maybe 3 weeks, a month since this release, I think the song is pretty good, but I think it's not the best for Stacy considering their other tracks. That's how I feel about this one.
Fair. Okay.
Second place though, this was a tough one. I debated, should I put Girls' Generation in first place? Should I put New Jeans and give them the third crown? I decided to put Attention in first place this week and Girls' Generation in second place.
Okay.
There's just something about this
okay.
Attention song. It is for me a top 5 song of the year. So that's why I cannot not put it in first place still. Boom.
Understandable. Okay, for me, third place, I have 80s Gorilla.
Oh, fair. Completely fair.
Right? I've been
Yeah.
looking at a lot of the live stages. Very, very good performances from them. I'm liking the sound, so I'll put them in third. Second place, I also have Girls' Generation. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the nostalgia is like, I guess it's kind of hard to describe, but like everything that came together for the music video. I think when I looked at the choreography as well, I feel like, oh, this is so like SNSD. Like it doesn't seem super different. Like let's switch it up right now. So I like how they stuck to more of an homage in a sense, but with a little twist.
Yes, for sure.
So I appreciate it. I put it in second place. First place, I had a little bit of debate as well, but I will keep Attention from New Jeans
Let's go.
in first place. Also been looking at live stages. It's so interesting, but everybody looks like super relaxed, like very good.
They're
stage
really
presence
pro for how
and,
young they are. It's
professionalism, I guess. So very, 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 very good start for them, I guess.
They're relaxed, like your favorite pair of jeans. New
I guess,
jeans.
yeah.
Adore, pay me money for that thing. I'm just kidding. Attention, great track. Also on first for me.
Okay.
Let's go.
I think if I can add anything to the attention discussion, I don't know. There's a lot of hair flipping in their choreo.
Yes.
It is, yeah. There is a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't. It's got to be planned, right? The whole hair flipping thing, hair flying around.
It's hair choreography, yes.
Yeah,
That's a thing?
Hair choreography.
Hair
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
it
If
is.
you want to look up great hair choreography, IZ*ONE Cheon. There's so many videos about her hair flipping, dude.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Well,
Yeah, she's one of the masters of it, dude.
I don't know. I just thought it was really cool how all 5 of them flip their hair at the same time and they flip it backwards at the same time. I was like, wow, hair go boom boom. That's really cool.
Wait. There's a video. It's called 3 minutes of Cheon's hair trying to wreck your bias list.
Wow.
And the thumbnail on the bottom, it says IZ*ONE's 13th member. Is her hair. Okay, continue.
So big.
Oh my god.
I am also a big unofficial Soan. I never joined the club, official fan club, but you know, I was there.
In your heart.
I was always there in my heart. I sang and danced to G as I cleaned the classroom after class in 5th grade or 6th grade. I forget which, or maybe first year of middle school. I think first year of middle school. I was there. I had a little brush. I was brushing, and then everybody would drop their brushes, and I would go baby.
Choreography.
Everybody had to do it.
So I still got the G poster. Dude.
Oh my god,
Oh,
it's gotta be so
man.
crusty
Poster.
and like dusty.
No, it's been in a frame. It's been preserved.
Oh, that's good.
That doesn't mean it's gonna be good when it comes out.
If I could ever get that signed, that would make my life. Well, that's to be real
Wow.
Dude, you're gonna open it, it's gonna fall apart. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, you're probably.
Yeah, you should check on it. Anyways, Girls' Generation Forever One on 2nd place. Wild track. Good to see them back. I'm sure they'll come back again. That leaves me with Gorilla by ATEEZ on 3rd. Anita,
Oh,
you and I are good friends today.
we're twinning. Yes.
Yes, we are twinning like twins.
Okay,
Good,
dude.
good.
Okay, we are twinning like twins. Gochu Gang. You know, it was a close vote, right?
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was extremely close vote before the it got to the wire. But with 43 points, New Jeans' Attention, first place, boom. Second place for them
Okay.
was Girls' Generation with Forever One with 36 points. And in third place, I'm messing this up. And in third place, Yena got 25, right? But Beautiful Monster from Stacy got 27. So first place Attention,
super
second
close.
place Forever One, third place Beautiful Monster. That is what the Gochu Gang did this week.
Let's go.
As a result, New Jeans is technically picking up their 4th crown, but they are entering the Hall of Spice. Boom.
True.
They are joining. All right, let me see how fast I can say it this
Big
time.
list.
They are joining BTS Dynamite, Twice I Can't Stop Me, Dreamcatcher, Odd Eye, IU, Lilac, Stacey, ASAP, BTS Butter, Taeyeon Weekend, Suddenly You Can't Sit With Us, Stacey Stereotype, Twice The Feel, 17 Rock With You, Chungha's Killing Me, From a Sign DM, Stacey Run To You, Red Velvet Feel My Rhythm, Dreamcatcher Maizon, Got7 Na Na Na, Chungha Sparkling, and now New Jeans Attention. Boom.
Boom.
That's a list.
19th track on the Hall of Spice. Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. Yo, speaking of Girls' Generation, I feel like during our talk, I didn't get to talk about the nostalgia. That is the first K-pop group I liked. Literally them.
Do the same.
Aw.
Been a hot minute. Glad to see them together. They have remarkably had very few controversies during their history in terms of the individual members. Like the Taeyeon dating Baekhyun was something like that. I remember
that
that.
was something.
That was insane. That was insane. And you remember when people, like the manager were together, like in their backseat when they were having dates and stuff. I remember being like,
man.
"Oh my god, this is crazy." Yeah, I think most of the big news about them as of late was like who they were dating and stuff. You know, never anything too bad.
Isn't Suhyung still dating that one actor, like Jung Young-ho? Like they're still dating, right?
Yes, and then I remember Yuri dated a baseball player for a hot minute.
Oh.
That was something. And then obviously the biggest controversy of Girls' Generation was the whole Jessica thing, which we will never know 100% what happened. It is a
unfortunately,
shame
yeah.
that she's not with them now, but you know, business is business.
I heard she's debuting in a Chinese girl group through an
Yes,
audition show.
she was on a
What?
Chinese audition show and she placed second, right?
There you go.
I believe is what happened.
Oh my god, I did not know about this. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anita, where you at? You gotta be on. Yo, Anita, ask like Malfiar on the Discord. He knows what's up.
Oh, jeez.
Finally, we're at show winners though. Anita, hit us with them.
Yes, we have a couple. First off, we have Nayeon with Pop. She won again at Inkigayo, and I
Ooh.
believe it's a triple crown.
Yep.
So she has 5 total wins so far with this comeback.
The other triple crowns on Inkigayo this year are Taeyeon, INVU, G-Idol Tomboy, Big Bang, Still Life, I've Love Dive, and Side That. So she's joining great company there.
Yeah. And then we have 17 with Dash World, another win on Amp Countdown. So we have a total of 4 wins for them. We have ATEEZ with Gorilla, so they won on the show champion, and Music Bank, so 3 total wins so far. And then finally we have WSG Wannabe, or Gaia G, with At That Moment, have another win on Show Music Core, so 2 total wins for them.
That song at that moment is still the #1 song in Korea on
It's
iChart.
really popular.
Yes, it's extremely popular. That song has some people you guys might know. It has Soyeon from Laboom, and it also has Hin, who is a solo singer who's incredibly talented. So please check that one out.
Okay.
All right, we'll take our first break. We'll be back at it in 3, 2, 1.
SojuTalk Nation, this is Anita here with a quick PSA. If you would like to support SojuTalk Kpop Podcast, please like, subscribe, or follow us on whatever platform you're using. And consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/SojuTalk or donating to us at paypal.me/SojuTalk. On behalf of the crew and myself, thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
All right, we're back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 201. We got way too excited that Attention entered Hall of Spice that I didn't mention who got second and third on this week's Spice chart. So let me do that now. As we know, Attention picked up all 20 points from us. All first place, entered the Hall of Spice, 4 crowns. Let's go. Second place was Girls' Generation with Forever One. They got 12 points. And there was a two-way tie for third place. They both got 2 points each, so only via third place votes. And that is Stacy's Beautiful Monster and AT's Gorilla.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry about that. We got way too hyped for DGs. Hey, let's hit the news and events from last week. First one. Blackpink have announced the tour dates for their Born Pink World Tour. So they will be performing 35 shows at a minimum at the moment.
Jesus.
Wow.
Let me go through it. What they're doing is they're not doing like a show every 2 days or something. What they're doing is they're doing like a couple shows a month for an extended period of time. So, in October, they're going to hit up Seoul for 2 days, Dallas and Houston. November, they're going to Atlanta. They're going to Hamilton, which is pretty much Toronto, for 2 days. They're going to Chicago 2 days, Newark for 2 days. Then they're going to Los Angeles. And then they're already starting the European leg because they're going to hit London at the end of November. Next, in the month of December, they have London again. Then they have Barcelona, Cologne, Paris for 2 days, Berlin, and Amsterdam. Then in January, so we're already in 2023, we're going to Bangkok for 2 days, Hong Kong for 2 days, Riyadh, which I believe is in Saudi Arabia, for 1 show, and we're going to Abu Dhabi. Wow. Next in March, Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, Kaohsiung, or Kaohsiung is, I think, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but it's in Taiwan. Then they're going to not Milan, they're going to Manila. And then in May, only 1 show, they're going to Singapore. And then in June, they're going to hit up Rosé's Australia. They're going to Melbourne for 2 days, Sydney for 2 days, and Auckland for 1 day. And at the bottom, it says "and more," so potentially more.
More. Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
This is insane. BTS had prepared that extremely big world tour that eventually had to get pared down an extreme amount because of the COVID situation. So I'm going to call this like one of the premier mega tours that we're going to see for K-pop.
Proper world tour as well, yeah. A couple of countries missing.
I feel bad for South America,
Yeah.
Mexico, things like that. But other than that, they're hitting up a ton of locations.
I feel
A
like
lot of dates.
much other than Japan and China, you got some usual places and a lot more. So
Yeah, maybe
Wow.
they add Japanese, Chinese dates, and maybe some South American dates, and then you pretty much covered
Yeah.
everything.
and then make another stop in Alaska and then
Cape Town, South Africa,
Cape Town,
right?
Cape Town, yeah.
Yo, Cape Town and their thriving K-pop scene, dude. Like, come on. I really feel bad because, like, you know how logistically how difficult it would be for them to get the K-pop depth to go down to South America. Kind of sucks. Or maybe they hit up Morocco or something. You know,
Well,
That'd be kinda-
maybe they do a full African tour. Hit up Morocco, hit up Madagascar.
that'd be kind of
hit
fun.
up Wakanda while you're at it.
I am going to try to get. I looked it up. I was expecting this Newark, which is the one that's closest to me. It's like a 40-minute train ride,
Yeah.
so I could definitely go to this one. And
Right
the
the river
concert
from New
venue,
Jersey.
you can literally walk from the train station, so it's great. But it's on the
perfect.
14th and 15th of November, which is a Monday and a Tuesday. And I was thinking, like,
Oh.
why would it be that? I would assume it's like a weekend date. It's because the hockey season's going on. So a lot of these
Ah.
dates are pretty much like hockey season for at least in Newark. So I'll still probably try to go. I'm off those 2 days. I'm gonna try to get some tickets for this.
Keep us posted, Doug.
Overall, pretty exciting for them. I know we're gonna get the comeback relatively soon. So a lot of exciting stuff for Blackpink, if you're a fan of them. The biggest problem we've always had with them, not a lot of content. We're finally getting stuff. So
Finally, yeah. It's gonna be Blackpink season soon.
All right, next one. Starship Entertainment shared that 5 members of Monsta X, Shonyu, Minhyuk, Kihyun, and Hyungwon and Juhyun have renewed their contracts. IM has decided not to renew his contract, but will still participate in future group activities for Monster X. So, I would assume overall this is pretty solid news for them, right? Like, it's not like anyone's leaving. They're still doing the thing. The problem is they're coming up to military duty too, so this is something there. Overall, though, I think this secures the future for the group past military, which is good for them. And I think now more than ever, one member not being in the company but still performing with the group is very possible. I think we've seen that with a couple groups. More than ever, you can do that now. Back in the day, hell no, it would never happen.
But now
it's doable.
Yeah.
It's good. I think Monster X has had a very fascinating career, right? Shootout popped off.
The rebirth.
COVID wasn't too great for them. They're doing stuff still. They're still popular. I'm interested to see where they go. Next group, ATEEZ, right? This is a group that is popping off though. They recorded 930,000 album sales of the World Episode 1 movement during its first week of release.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. That's a big number.
Big number for ATEEZ,
Very
right?
close.
That's crazy. It's gonna sell over 1 million. That's great for them. You know, I always love the ATEEZ story because KQ Entertainment's a small company, right? Like,
Yes, underdogs in a way.
this is an underdog story. This is more than like, let's see. I'm looking at their previous things. Zero Fever Epilogue did 415,000. So they pretty much already doubled that.
Let's go.
Wow. That's a big jump.
This is fantastic news if you're an ATEEZ fan. Wow, this
ATEEZ.
is what commercial success looks like, guys. Right here.
Making that money, getting that bag.
Finally, JTBC, which is one of the premier cable channels in Korea, has confirmed the lineup for a female rapper singing survival show called Du Bonche Sege, also known as Second World, which will premiere on August 30th. So, what I read is that there is a stereotype that idol rappers can only rap because they can't sing very well, right? So this show aims to break that stereotype, and they're going to have these idol rappers sing primarily.
I see. I was getting confused by the description if it was rapping. Or
I thought it was a rap battle show, and I was looking for some disses and stuff,
Yeah.
but no, it's a singing show with idol rappers. So here's the cast: Wonder Girls Yubin. We have the return of Jimin, formerly of AOA. Mamamoo Moonbyul, Oh My Girl Mimi, Uju Sonyo Exi, Momoland Jui. Is she the rapper? I don't really know. Billy's Moonsua, who is the sister of Moon from someone in Astro, right? I believe.
She is?
Moonbin? Yeah.
I know.
And we have Classy Kim Sun Yu, who I do not know, but I know of Classy. So interesting mix, for sure, right?
Actually, the mix makes more sense now that the description is of singing, right? Because a couple of them I feel like have already done solo stuff, primarily just singing, like Moonbyul, Yubin. Okay, so it makes sense.
This is kind of exciting, right? Like, I like this mix. I'm gonna watch at least the first episode. I'll see what happens.
I feel like some of these folks, they still need to prove to me that they're a good rapper before they prove to me that they're a good singer first. I'm
Okay.
not gonna say who, obviously.
You know what? That's a fair thing. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
That's fair.
yes.
I think that's fair.
But you know what? Maybe they have different talents. Show me your talent. Show me the other money, please. Thank you.
So I'm trying to look out. So I'm trying to read up what's going on. So they say vocal war, things like that.
Vocal
I think
war.
some people are going to serve as like judges. Kim Bum-soo, Jung Eun-ji,
Oh,
Song Kwan. Like they're getting legit singers to serve as judges here. Paul Kim's on here somewhere.
Wow.
So they're getting actual high tier singers to show up here.
I wonder if there's gonna be like instructors too then, or like what? they're
And
just
like
gonna-
this ain't no joke. This is like a straight up singing competition.
Wow. I don't know what to say.
I'm hoping for 100% live singing with no AR.
Oh, you gotta.
We got it, right?
singing-
Yeah.
I want to
show.
hear some voice cracking. I want to see some high note failure. You know, I want to see all this. Come on.
This better be like I Am Singer from back in the day from NBC, but like idol
Oh.
version. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Remember that show? Man.
Yes.
Overall, though, pretty exciting. This might scratch the like competition show itch that some people have. You know, so maybe it'll satisfy that.
Maybe.
All right, next week. What we gonna cover?
Well, go down the
Oh.
list, Doug.
We got Tribe, We have Jackson. There's an interesting debate as to whether Jackson is K-pop anymore. I think in itself, that's a fun discussion.
Eh.
Cards BM, that's something. Pentagon's Kino. On Friday we have Junie, and then Monday Rocking Doll. We're gonna cover some interesting stuff next week.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be.
I'm excited.
nice.
I'm excited. We might find some hidden gems among this.
I have
guys.
no idea who Rocking Doll is. That's a group.
Neither
It's
do
a group.
I.
It's a group. I think they're primarily It's a girl group. It is a girl.
It's a girl group of 4 people. I looked at their most recent image grouped together. They all have elf ears and they're wearing spacesuits. So that's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Oh my god! It's the group that did the elf theme. Oh my god! I remember this.
You know?
Wait.
This is the thing.
No, I don't
themes?
remember the song, but I just remember I saw a group in elf ears. I'm like, what the f is going on here?
That's them.
All right.
It's them.
Okay.
Well, maybe that's the Nugu we cover that we haven't. In a while.
All right, I'm gonna do the exit soon. Well, not the exit, the ending soon for the regular show. In the after hours this week, we're going to be talking about a K-pop Mount Rushmore or a Hall of Fame. So we're basically gonna pick like the 5 greatest all-time girl groups and boy groups. It's gonna be really spicy. It's gonna be fun. So stick around for that. This has been the regular show of SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me this week. Join us for the after hours for this K-pop Mount Rushmore Hall of Fame dumpster fire situation. Bye, everyone. See you in like 10 seconds. Bye.
Bye.
Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Bagel, Based, Yena, Brian, Shadow, Cotton Ball, Delmonic, Ellie, Genki Boy, Goku Mama, Jacob, Liam's Games and Toys, Luke Daniels, and Jay Parks. Tier, thank you for joining SojuTalk. And special thanks to our Discord server mods: Jacob, K Music Erde, Koala, Mafiar, Max, No Bias Luna, Tuggles, and Wolf297.
Hey, it is the after hours, also known as State of the Nation, also known as open discussion, whatever you want to call it. We're done with the regular show. We're doing some fun stuff now.
Yes.
The first thing not the first thing. The only thing we're gonna do.
The main
We're gonna
event.
have a discussion today. The question is, what is your K-pop Mount Rushmore? So this was submitted by Fang Bart and several other anonymous folks. So what is Mount Rushmore? Mount Rushmore is this mountain in South Dakota in the United States where it has like 4 presidents and a lot of them consider some of the greatest presidents. So essentially what we're doing like a K-pop Hall of Fame type of thing. We're going to do it with boy groups and girl groups. We're going to basically choose the 5 greatest boy groups and girl groups in terms of legacy, impact, anything, any kind of metric you want. We're just going to choose the 5 greatest, however you want to quantify that.
The 5 best boy groups and girl groups of K-pop of all time.
All time.
All right. Well, I wanted to add some visual aid for those folks on YouTube. So I'm going to try to make our Mount Rushmore as we go. We're calling it Mount Sojumore. We're going to have one for girl groups and one for boy groups. It's going to be poor Photoshop, but you're going to have to deal with it. It's fine.
All right. Who do we want to start with, boy groups or girl groups?
I feel like boy groups is easier, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Number
okay.
1, boy groups.
Boy groups.
Right?
Boy groups.
BTS is on this thing.
Oh,
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the first ballot Hall of Famer. That means like first time you're possibly up for qualification of Hall of Fame, you're getting in. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer. BTS is a first ballot Hall of Famer. They're
Heck
the
yeah.
first name that you would read off.
I think if you think about like where K-pop is right now, they're definitely a game changer. They're definitely
Yes.
setting new records. They're definitely
Yes.
paving the way beyond what was already paved. Do we even need to elaborate on this?
It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah.
They're
BTS.
the GOAT group. They're the GOAT group.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any groups that we 100% think need to be on Mount Sojumore for this K-pop Mount Rushmore Hall of Fame situation? One that I would like to suggest, I wonder what you guys think,
Okay.
is Big Bang.
I kind of think that's necessary.
Right?
I understand the significance for sure.
I think that independent of any scandals that the individual members have had, the impact that they had on the genre of K-pop cannot be understated.
Yeah.
I think if you think about
Wait, cannot be overstated. Wait, yeah, okay, that's the way you gotta say
There
it.
you
All
go.
right.
if you think about K-pop in like or Korean pop culture for that matter, back in like the late 2000s and like the early 2010s, Big Bang and G-Dragon for that matter plays like a very critical role in setting trends, the flow at the time. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like it's difficult to discuss Korean pop culture without Big Bang. You know, like that's I don't know what to tell you. Like that's them. They of course they have a lot of controversies, right? That's without
Unfortunately.
right. Unfortunately, that is true. But I think to a degree, the influence that they left on the genre and pop culture in Korea overall, like you can't deny that. Frankly,
Nah, massive.
no.
All right, what do we want to do from there? Do you think there's another more recent group we gotta throw on there, or do we want to talk about older groups? What do we want to do, guys?
I have my 5. They're all older than Big Bang at this point.
So the remaining 3 are all older.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless Anita disagrees, I will hear your opinion.
Well, no, I want to hear what you have because I'm a little.
Yeah,
Curious,
I
if they're
only
all
have
old-
like one older
older.
group than them.
Than Big Bang?
Yeah,
Really? All of you guys have like younger groups than Big Bang?
yeah,
Slightly.
yeah, slightly. Maybe the same era. Yeah.
Okay, do I go one by one or should I just name everybody?
Choose who you think is the most impactful out of those 3. Like if you had to pick one out of those 3.
Soteji and the boys.
Wow,
Taj
that's a
Boys.
shout. Okay, explain to people at home who they are.
They debuted in the early 90s. They were active for 4 years and 4 years only. They practically, in my head, they practically opened up the K-pop market. They defined what it means to have a fandom. They defined what it means to connect and influence with the general public and influence culture and influence pop culture. They began a lot of trends. They began a lot of the patterns that you see in K-pop. They were honestly, they are single-handedly one of the most important figures in all of Korean pop culture in the 90s. In
Also,
the entire
why
modern
also
era.
YG is among the members. If people
YG
didn't-
was a member.
Yeah, founder of YG Entertainment.
And like their form definitely is very different from like what they did was very different from like what K-pop groups do nowadays, right? But like they still danced to songs that mix different genres, like I feel
true,
I feel
yeah.
like this is like a no-brainer. I don't know, like this Soteji and the boys, they're like a critical part of like K-pop history. Like
Yeah, I see it. I see the significance
right, like
behind them. too.
HOT exists because Soteji and the boys existed,
Precursor, yes.
Yes. And people have made the example, the argument the other way around, where they're like, oh, like the fire trucks, the Sobangcha group, walked so that Soteji could run. But then I'm like, but there were other groups that danced,
Oh.
So Sobangcha definitely borrowed a lot of the popular Japanese tropes at the time and like localized it into a Korean medium. And Soteji is also, there's a lot of controversy with musical plagiarism, but if you think about the history and the influence they've had on the industry, it's without doubt like this.
Soteji.
I don't know, if I'm talking to a Korean person, it's as obvious as Big Bang and BTS to me. Like that's, I don't know. I
see
guess
it.
it's not obvious to y'all.
No, I feel like it's a bit of a debate for me. Like, how far back do I want to go, right? To include as many people from different time periods of like the genre, like who would be a definitive person, right? But as like I guess quote unquote founder or like originator, I feel like Soteji and the boys is up there. Because I do feel like you can't have HOT, GOD, text keys like without what they did.
No.
Wait, you're putting them up
Really
there. We
nice.
haven't even decided we're putting them up there, Warren.
I just can't imagine without these folks.
I just want to say 0 people in our. We had a
That's
pre-channel.
true.
Put them in their thing. Dude.
One person
One person.
One
did.
person or two, I think, two. Shout outs
I
to
feel-
two of. I remember Therese was one of them, but look at Mr. YG just sitting here. He's looking young.
He was young.
Anita, do you have a okay? Anita, I was
I can't
talking
believe this.
in terms of older groups. I thought we were gonna put like a God or an HOT up there, right? I thought that was more likely.
I guess yeah. I was kind of leaning towards the later '90s, mid '90s to late '90s. I thought HOT for sure. Their counterpart, like the rival group, right, was Techskis. So I feel like God, I kind of understand. I wouldn't say that I qualify them too much, like between those two. Like I would say like second place or first place over those two, but it's between those three, I guess, for sure. And I'm referring back when I think of like the legacy, right, and like the meaning of them in the general like cultural aspect. HOT for sure, because I feel like when I think of like who is referenced even now, like who like who knows Candy, like who knows that song, like even now I feel like that's a little bit easier than like God. Like are they still being referenced nowadays?
어머님은 짜장면이 싫다고 하셨어.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe that was a kind of the perspective that I was having, which is why I was leaning to HOT between those three.
I think if I think about the late 90s K-pop war, I definitely agree with you. It's Jax Kiss, HOT, and God. God, I feel like was the group that had lesser sales but better connection with the general public.
Oh,
I think that argument can definitely be made. However, to refute that argument that I just made, it's not like HOT and Jax Kiss was not connected to the general public. They had a huge influence.
Super fandoms.
Right.
Super fandoms.
Not even fandoms. Everyone knew about them. Like it was a huge part of pop culture at the time, where like it's not like you're either a fan or not a fan. It's like everybody knows who they are, and like they're like, yeah, I like those folks, at the very least. So with that in mind, I feel like God, yes, they definitely had a great connection with the general public. They obviously had a great fandom. They obviously made a lot of great sales.
Well,
but
they're more
I would lean more towards HOT there.
God is more visible with younger people because of What's Up Man as well.
Ah, is that what it is?
That's what I think. That's what a lot of it is. I think that some of their members are more visible than some of the
Fair.
HOT members
That's
are.
that's
these
fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If you
I
think
think
about
in terms of modern day visibility, I think some of the GOD's members are more visible.
okay,
I didn't think about it that way.
you
Right?
already have four folks on the folks on
Bro,
the
you
list
just
now.
keep putting people up before we talk about them.
We're gonna have
That's
to
your
eliminate-
problem.
We'll take them out later. We'll take them out right later.
No. Okay, you know, people who are watching the show are going to argue for more modern groups. 1000%, right?
Okay, fair. Yeah.
Who was your third group then, Warren, that you wanted to put on this that was older?
I also had HOT. My third old group was TVXQ.
Okay,
okay,
so
well,
at least
not
the same
as
era
old.
as
Yeah.
Big Bang, sort of.
Yeah.
Yes. Now here's the thing. I am least confident about TVXQ. So if you want to take them out, throw in EXO or throw in 17 or Shiny.
Okay, here's some
Super
arguments.
Junior.
I'm gonna make counter arguments to some of these groups.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Mind you, these are my opinions. They're not fact. These are just what I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like we can't include 17 on this list because although they are the second best-selling K-pop group of all time, it's the era we're in where we're selling tons of albums. Additionally, none of their singles have reached past number 4 in Korea.
Okay. So
I think that's an extreme weak single sale, humongous fandom. That's what you would write.
big
so
fandom.
I think that the weak performance of their single tracks is more just a representation of public interest in Korea towards them.
Okay. I
Like,
think public
in the
interest.
K-pop realm, they are massively popular. Objectively, they sell tons of albums, but I think their connection with the general public in Korea is not as strong as some of these other groups.
I
So
agree.
in order to be on the mountain, you have to have both.
I think it's a combination of things, but I think that should factor in considerably.
Okay.
Fair. Okay.
Other groups, I think if you're gonna pick Super Junior, you would just pick Dongbang Shingi over them. They're about the same era. I just think Dongbang Shingi was the bigger group.
That's kind of true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think SHINee has the same problem of this SM hierarchy type thing. Although I think SHINee, I would place SHINee above Super Junior, which is crazy.
Whoa. Okay. We have this impromptu tier list now. Okay.
I would, of those groups of that era, I would.
Okay. Okay.
Who else would we potentially argue should take the next spot? I think NCT too early to decide, right? As a modern group.
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like
Okay.
Too early to
fair.
decide. I think I agree with your arguments between GOD and HOT now. I kind of understand what you guys are saying there. I think there are underrated groups that might get some consideration, but I just don't think you put them on here, like Infinite, Vix, and Beast of the Gen 2 groups.
Okay.
Those
I,
ones.
No, yeah.
I can definitely see an argument for Infinite, but I think Woolen didn't really do the most amazing job managing those folks, and
Yeah, I think that comes down to management and longevity.
Yeah.
Right there.
Unfortunately.
My initial list was Big Bang, BTS, one of the older groups. I needed help on that, and then it was Dongbang Shingi, TVXQ, and EXO. That was the list that I wanted.
okay.
So then, because of we have more older groups now. I'm down to: do I put TVXQ or do I put EXO? Is essentially what I come to.
Okay. Let's think about TVXQ first, right? Because TVXQ, if I think about their biggest feat and their biggest accomplishment was going worldwide as a K-pop musician.
Is
Yes.
it going worldwide or is it going to Japan?
Going to Japan. Okay, fine. They went to Japan.
You know what I mean? That's something.
But at the time where Japanese people had no interest in Korean people or anything from the
Oh.
peninsula, I'm thinking like, okay, like that's quite a feat. That's quite a feat, you know?
Okay, yeah,
The
yeah.
the soft power of Korea at the time was like very low. Like what was Korea known for? Doug lived through this era, so did I. We know that like our country had very little relevance in like common conversations. And yet they broke into popular culture, if not the peak of it.
Muradic was what set this off, dude.
Right.
Muradic. That was a game changer.
Now that being said, their career has a big obstacle.
Asterisk.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it was a little short because
If
it was a
If-
little short.
Dongbang Shiki TVXQ never broke up, they would be on this list 1,000%, I feel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
You basically have to view the current iteration of TVXQ, which is Yuno and Max, as its own entity from base TVXQ. It's so different.
It has been, I guess, to some extent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anita, you're the boy group expert here, right? Like,
Expert.
would you raise the hand to EXO, or would you raise the hand to the Mirotic Boys?
Or would you raise a hand to another group, Anita,
Oh,
like
sure, yeah.
17 or something?
Those are yeah.
See, I feel like I see the significance for both Dongbang Shinki and EXO for different reasons, because I feel like I definitely agree that the short term of TVXQ, right? I feel like it makes it feel like, oh, but like what could have been, right? And like kind of like what you know of them, even though they still like are a duo, is from that era when they were all five, like the more like really really significant stuff, like breaking onto the Japanese market. A lot of like the vibe, I guess, was very interesting, like very very intense vocals, very intense dancing. So I feel like I want to give props to that, because I feel like even now when I think of longevity as well, like TVXQ as five and their work as five, you know, was super relevant for a long time. Like even a couple years ago, I feel like I still see people covering melodic covers. Like I don't know, but I feel like it's still quite present.
What are you zooming in on his abs?
I didn't zoom on his abs. What are you talking about? I didn't zoom on no abs.
you
I
like
didn't-
hero abs, dude?
I didn't do that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it will always be a little unfortunate, a little bit about what could have been, right? But I don't know. I
Oh.
still feel like there's a significance there.
Uh-huh.
On the other hand, with EXO, I feel like there's I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say there was like a huge like point where things were like super super big for EXO. It was like more like a constant.
What?
Did you forget about Growl?
Oh yes,
Anita,
okay. But Growl was like quite early. It was like their second, no, technically third release.
I know was literally the debut of Soteji and the Boys, and it changed the entire market in the industry.
I know, but what I'm saying is that with EXO, I feel like Growl was a really, really good release that really got them on like everybody's radar, right? Like the dance was super popular, the whole look was super popular. So I feel like that was the one title track where like everybody knows who you are at this point. Moving forward after that, I thought like it was more like a constant growth of popularity and not necessarily like a huge moment of like this was the moment where like they were the biggest group. So I feel like
Anita,
can you name a moment? I feel like I have a hard
you don't
time.
think
Love Shot,
Baby
Tempo.
Call Me Baby.
Nigga 무슨 일이야?
Anita,
Baby.
they had a 5-year stretch from 2013 to 2018 where not one of their singles was out of the top 10. And they released about 20 something singles in that
Well, that's
span.
what I'm saying. I feel like it was more of like an era where like everything they were releasing was gold, basically. Like it was super popular. So I don't feel like there was a specific moment, but at the same time, even now they're still active, and I feel like they hold that popularity factor in a way. Like members have left, they have changed. The whole XOM concept is gone. That doesn't exist anymore. So things have changed, but for some reason, like they're still really.
Are you
really
arguing
up there.
for Dongbachi or are you arguing for EXO?
I can't tell. Yeah.
I can't
That's
tell.
where I'm torn. I'm torn.
No,
because
it's
I
EXO. It's EXO. It's EXO.
You think
it has
it's
to
EXO?
be. It has to be. If you look at Dongbang Shingi's career, right, you have to think the pop-up song was Neurotic, right? 2008. They had already been releasing music for 4 years. Then everyone went back and realized how good some of the older songs were, like Balloons and Hug and Rising Sun.
I think they were
right?
popular prior to Neurotic, but
No, but Neurotic was the song that popped it off to the world.
overseas, you mean?
Yes, Overseas was
Okay.
the song that cemented their legacy as
Yeah.
one of the biggest groups. If you think about post-Neurotic, they broke up within like a year or two after it.
They did. That's the unfortunate thing.
That's the problem with their candidacy for this, I feel.
I think what I will say regarding TVXQ and their relevance in order to become Mount Rushmore rate people is that the rap of their things was just not great.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like, oh, what was it ethical, good, bad. That's not what I mean. It's just their career just got rammed into the ground in the middle of
It
everything.
got messy.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And it was honestly just a big, it unfolded in front of everybody's eyes. Like they were like, oh, is SM growing slaves? Is that what they're doing? Like that was a whole drama for a long time. And like that, honestly, I feel like that would be the biggest reason I keep them out of the Mount Rushmore top 5, even though they are definitely a game changer in the aspect of going to Japan, which could also be refuted by saying Boa went to Japan before TVXQ and she was still successful. So I mean, you can make that argument there as well.
I would maybe a hot thing. I would pick 17 over Dongbang Shingi.
Well, okay, that's a hot
What?
take. That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. I would
I
though.
would disagree with that.
I would though because here's the thing. There's always a thing in Hall of Fames is do you reward maximum peak or do you reward longevity? And I think that debate comes into this would come into that. But I would put
Yeah.
neither of them on it at the moment. I'd rather have those 5.
Wow.
Okay.
This is
That's
what it's
fine.
looking like.
I think Shiny has a better argument than Dongbang Shingi as well.
Oh, shiny.
Really?
Okay,
Yes.
that I'm not exactly sure about.
No, I think they would. I rather. Because of the sustained success is what I'm calling it.
All right. Well, look at this lovely mountain.
Honestly, I wasn't going to put Soteji and the boys on here, but that's mostly because of my lack of knowledge of really older K-pop. I'm really versed on 2007, 2008 onwards, right? But if you look at this group, if you look at this lineup, right? I believe that all of these groups were number 1 at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you put
Most
these
definitely.
5 groups in chronologic order you could argue that each one of them at their peak was number one in Korea for boy groups.
Consistently too.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they were active.
And I think that is the reason why you would put these groups, because a lot of these other groups that were arguing, they were competing against other groups who were the number one.
I think that's fair.
That makes sense. That makes
I
sense.
think if people say that it's impossible to compete against BTS now because they're in their own layer, I think that's also a fair take. But in the sub BTS tier, if we call it that, it's on it for me at the very least. Honestly, it's a little difficult to pick out one single group, and I feel like the split in votes, well, not votes, but people who mention different groups, is kind of proof to that, right? Like.
Have you ever watched like a YouTube video that shows like chess rankings over time, or YouTube video most watched over time, and they have one thing that stays at the top for a
graphs?
long time?
Yes.
All of these groups were on the top line, and then they
For
fell
a
off.
long time.
Yeah.
Other than BTS, because they're still there at the moment, right? But like, if you looked at that video, it would go like Sotechi and the boys, and then they go away, and then HOT's all of a sudden there, right? And then once HOT disbanded 2001, BTS is there. I mean, not BTS, Big Bang is there, right? And then once Big Bang starts to go to the military and all that stuff, then EXO's there for a decent amount of time, and then you have BTS on there for the last like 5-6 years, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense based on the image we've put up there. And I think it's hard to argue for other groups, because it would be very hard to argue that they were number one in their era.
I was gonna say, like, thinking of that analogy, right, of like the graphs and like you were number one at that period in time. TVXQ and Big Bang were there.
That's
at the
the
same
hardest
time.
one, though. I think they're the
hard
sixth.
one.
They're the sixth on here. Even though I've
Yeah.
argued against them, they were the group that was closest to also being number one. That's what I would say.
Well, my argument is like they were number one. It was like back and forth for a while. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So it gets iffy, I guess, which way you want to view it.
Yeah, but if you're arguing Big Bang and Dongbang Shiki, you're done. Like there's a clear answer there. I feel. Honestly, I'm okay with this. I rather I would rather put the cutoff on my personal knowledge. You know what I mean? But given we're doing the whole thing, I'm okay with this.
All right. Well, our top 5 in order of debut is Soteji and the Boys, HOT, Big Bang, EXO, and BTS.
I'm okay with this. Let us know. This is all our opinions. Just keep in mind when you're commenting that we are entitled to our own opinions, and so are you. So feel free to express them.
I publicly apologize to all the M Black fans for not being able to put M Black on here.
Oh, that's
just-
oh man,
Black.
M-Black.
Wow,
If I could
that's
pick-
a
This stuff
shout.
too.
If I could pick my top 25, they'd be there. Like
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
maybe
groups
top
to
40
name.
more like. But hey, M Black.
We didn't even mention groups like 2 PM. Or
Yeah.
yeah. The crazy thing is, just look at this SM run that they had going on. That's insane.
There's a reason
Yeah.
people were saying NCT is like their biggest flop, even though it's like they're not a flop. You know what I mean?
They're not.
No, they're not. But like because the expectations were like through the roof.
NCT feels like the number 3 group at the moment.
Right now, currently.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
now.
BTS, 17, NCT.
I've heard arguments for Stray
Number
Kids
2.
in that spot.
Oh, Stray Kids.
Yeah, okay. Everyone says
actually.
we underrate Stray
Underestimate.
Kids. I agree with that. We
That's
need
true.
to
This is true. Yeah.
those 4 are in the mix in some order.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stray Kids, I don't know why. I just don't feel a fantastic pull in terms of general popularity. Now, within K-pop sphere, yes, 100%.
Huge,
You
yeah.
have that argument all day. But in terms of like, you go to a random person in Korea who's not a K-pop fan, you say, "Do you know any members in Stray Kids?" That's a difficult sell. At least I feel like it would be.
I don't disagree with that.
Or you go to like another thing I always talk about is if you go to a random person in Korea and say name one song of X group, right?
Oh,
Can
yeah.
they?
That
Right.
I mean, in the world of K-pop right now, where a lot of things are very split between general public and fandoms, it's
Tough, right? It's tough.
a little tough. It's a
Hard.
little tough.
All right, you want to move on to girl groups?
All right. Goodbye, Mount boy group Soju More. We're gonna look at Mount girl group Soju More.
Okay. There are at least 2 groups that are hard locks for this, right? At least 2.
Okay.
At least 2. Okay.
Girls' Generation and Twice have to be on this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
agree with
Right?
that.
No arguments there. They have to
No
be.
arguments.
I agree.
They are the
9 and 9, wow.
they are the first ballot Hall of Famers on this. Is those two? They have to be on here. I think that the sustained success of both groups, how long they've been able to produce top tier music, is incredible. The amount of output that both groups did in their peaks, and it's crazy. You have to include both of them. Greatest two girl groups, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Frankly speaking, like if you think about those groups, yes, they definitely have different peaks. Yes, they some of the tracks underperformed compared to other title tracks, but again, the impact it's had in the industry and the culture is wild. Like Girl Generation, like we talked about this briefly earlier, but like they were like a cultural set piece for a long time. They still are. Everyone knows who they are. Like that's something.
Everyone.
Yeah. Try mentioning I don't know, Kara to some of the younger kids now. They don't know who that is.
It's
Sadly.
a little harder. Yeah.
That's sad. That's sad.
It is. But
Yeah.
still.
Okay. So if we're down to include those two groups, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that there is an older group that is significant enough that has to be included on this mountain?
I think Anita and I are thinking about the same group.
I'm thinking about the
SES.
same group too. SES, right? They have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to put an old group as the old shout on here. You gotta put them on there. You gotta respect the elders, respect the OGs, right? That was the biggest girl group of the era, right? When there was other groups like Finkel, Jewelry, Baby Vox, those were the other big ones. This was probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
I think Finkel would be the next one, but I can't like SDS is definitely a lot more popular.
Oh, by the way, my like nephew's here, so if you hear crying, it's him. He's a crying baby. It happens. Just letting y'all know
alright.
if you hear it in the
up,
background.
Doug's nephew.
Finkel, okay, Warren, go into why Finkel is why SCS is significant in K-pop legacy.
They are like what, the first girl group?
Basically.
Period.
Period.
No, look, here's the thing. Like, strangely enough, girl groups came to be after boy groups in Korea. There were mixed gender groups before that. There were boy groups before that. And even though, the J-pop market was very critically influencing Korean market at the time, and over there, girl groups were a huge part of their industry. We never got that for a while, right? I don't know why. As far as I understand, SDS was the first translation of it, probably because they already did a good job with HOT, and they were like, we know what we're doing. Let's do the other version of it, and they launched off SES. Their music is really good, like a lot of
Also,
it. Yeah.
I feel like they're in the same way of like how I think of it. Their tracks, their significance is still relevant or seems relevant to groups now. Like simply looking at aespa, they did a remake of SES, right? So I feel like it almost feels like why do that, right? But it feels like, oh, we're paying homage to this group. Kind of the little twist of it of this generation, I guess. But the fact that they consider it, like that it's something that they feel like, yeah, this is viable, this would be a good idea, that makes sense to me, because I feel like that kind of shows that, I guess, remembrance of like, yes, this group was significant enough that we should bring it back.
Yeah, unlike what Shu did in her past time, this one's not a gamble. Just saying.
Oh,
Oh.
we didn't need to say that.
Bro, she was okay, like I'm a degenerate video game player, so she was a degenerate gambler. Let's be real here. She lost 5. So if you don't know, one of the members of SES, she was in trouble for being in $5 million of debt for gambling.
Big time.
Like, Jesus Christ. Just saying.
Well, Pada is still a great singer, so
Pada's a great singer.
She
You've just
is.
been doing fantastic in acting. She was in the drama Penthouse. Over the past couple of years. All right. After that, then we have the great debate, right? Groups that I think should get consideration. Wonder Girls, 21, Red Velvet, Blackpink, Kara, Tiara are all up for debate here.
Okay,
I think
Okay.
Wonder Girls, 21, Red Velvet, Blackpink in terms of more recent ones, and then maybe go up and put it near 21. You put Kara and Tiara up there as well in terms of the older groups.
Kara and Tara and Rava and Bappa. Okay.
Do we agree with this type of thing?
Let's start here.
Put up
I
a Finkel
think
too. Put up
so.
a Finkel. Put up a Finkel.
No, we're not putting Finkel here.
Okay, we're not putting.
We
Finkel.
already agreed not to add Finkel here.
Do we agree though that we need to pick two of these groups?
I'm trying to think if there's someone we're missing by any chance, but I don't think so.
All right. By process of elimination, I'm gonna argue against Tiara first.
Okay.
They had
I
hit,
already agree with that.
yeah.
Yes.
They had hit songs. I'm not denying that. They were very popular at one point.
Super
Poppy,
popular.
poppy, poppy, poppy. Sorry.
Right? That Lovey Dovey, like they had a lot of hit
Roly-poly.
songs. Right? Roly Poly, yeah. TTL, I would even say that's a hit. That being said, they were popular. But that does not mean they were
Roly-poly.
a lasting, game-changing, industry crazy. You know, like that's I can't put them up here. You know,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like they did a lot of the great stuff that a lot of the people that came before them and after them also
So
did.
you would say that they were just another high tier group during the era,
I would
right?
agree. They were definitely in the S tier at a certain point. But
sort of like a Sistar. Would you put them in the same conversation, or do you think Sistar would be on top of them?
I would probably say Sistar on top of Tiara even.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Sistar
Yes.
has some like Hall of Fame level songs.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yes, touch my body. Yeah.
In terms of the more recent groups, I also saw some people talking about like maybe you include like an A Pink or a G Friend. I could see that shout. I could see that.
can
And
see that.
I saw someone else say maybe a Mamamoo.
Oh,
like,
Mamamoo. Hmm.
I kind of agree with that, but I feel like in the more modern girl groups, it's a three-way battle, right? It's Twice, Red Velvet, Blackpink, and of those three, you order them in some order of Twice / Blackpink, and then Red Velvet's a little bit below them, just because of like reasons. Like I don't know, it just feels like that, does it not? Right? It's always
I mean,
felt like
I
that.
guess
They
yeah.
physically have less sales compared to the other two.
Even though I think Red Velvet might have the best discography of all of them, that might be a
Whoa.
debate.
That might be
I
a
think they have an
debate.
argument for that. I've seen that, but I don't know. And I feel like G Friend clearly a tier below those three. I think if anything, the closest fourth would be a Mamamoo there. I think maybe it's
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah. No, I think there was a time when G-Friend was definitely there. It wasn't very long, is what I'll
It was
say.
never to the peak of a Twice though. You know, I don't think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
It was
say so.
it was a high peak, but not as high. I would rather. So I would take G Friend off of this first.
Okay.
Just take that. I think we all agree on that. Even though they did a great job, Mamamoo too. They've always been an interesting area of. I've heard always people arguing: are they K-pop? Right, that was a debate previously.
I think
People
they
had.
are.
Why is it
Or are they a vocal group? I heard other people say. I'd be saying I think they're K-pop. I think that though, comparatively to these other groups of their era, not as strong.
Here's what I'll say. They definitely have strengths.
Yes.
And they definitely have things that they're good at. They definitely have a strong fandom. They definitely have hit tracks. Have they left the legacy that, for instance, SES has? I don't know. I don't think so. Is my takeaway.
Yeah.
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 I'd be okay with dropping Mamamoo. So we're back to like A Pink. I also think they had a couple great songs. The second half, not of the career, not as great. Personally.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would drop them as well, even though they've had great longevity. All right, so we're back down to these ones. Wonder
Can I-
Girls, 21, Kara, Red Velvet, Blackpink.
Can I add one here?
Oh,
This
This
yes.
is a last
which one?
minute thought.
FX.
And
That falls
Oh,
into the
FX.
what if. That's a what if category.
It's
Dude.
unfortunately a what
Here's
Yeah,
the thing.
that's a what if.
Here's the argument for FX, and I know this will probably not work, but hear me out. FX was the first group to kind of, back when FX was active, there was a widespread bias and stereotype that idol music, K-pop music, is poop music. They were like, it's not good. Music is not good. They're bad at singing. There's no significance as an artistic piece. FX was the first group to kind of flip that over. They were the first group to try and experiment crazy wild things. They were very capable as artists, you know. Their third album will probably go down in history, in Korean music history, as one of the best electronica albums of all time, you know. I think that says a lot in terms of like, sure, maybe they didn't have the same achievement as the other groups that we've mentioned so far, but that achievement was required for us to have what K-pop is now.
They have between 2009, the later half of 2009, the early part of 2015, a 9-song streak of songs that were in the top 3 on Korean charts. True, New ABO, Pinocchio, Hot Summer, Electric Shock, Rum Pum Pum, Red Light, and Four Walls were all in the top 3, with 4 of them going number 1.
Yeah, it's not just about like popularity, like I mentioned, right? Like they played a critical role that became the foundation and the soil, I think, for the industry to grow.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I would say of their era, though, like a Girls' Generation, Wonder Girls, you would take above them. Sadly, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the. That's
I
what it
probably
comes down
wouldn't
to.
put Benjamin Franklin in the Mount Rushmore. He's not a Mount Rushmore list. He's not.
No.
Yeah, it's only
No.
presidents.
So sadly, we would. I think we'd remove that. So we're down to the 5.
Yeah.
Right. Now, easiest thing between Girls' Generation, Wonder Girls, and Kara, you would drop the weakest, right?
This one, the one I have highlighted here.
It would be Kara. Sadly.
Great discography, though. Great discography from
Yeah.
Kara.
Kara was
Bops.
like, if you were a hipster, you were a Kara fan. You know what I mean? Like, if you were not a mainstream, you would be like, bro, I'm a Kara stan, dude. Back in the day, right? It's like, dude, that's my group. But
They were also like the first idol group outside of the major companies to pop off.
yes,
They're from
Also-
what? DSP Entertainment?
yes.
Yeah, and they
They're-
also had a good career in Japan as well, if I remembered.
Yeah.
They did the crossover really well.
What do you mean a good career?
Great.
One of the best careers anyone can have in Japan. Period.
Their streak of Pretty Girl, Honey, Wanna, Mr. Lupin, Jumping Step was fantastic, right? That stretch right there from like late 2008 to early 2011, that 3-year stretch was incredible.
Bops.
Yeah.
Absolute
bops.
bops. Straight bops.
Did you guys know that Mr. was not the title track of that era?
Oh, it was not?
No.
It was
Mr.
Wanna, right?
Yeah, Wanna was the title track, and Mr. was like the support track that you do for a minute before Wanna begins.
The B-side, yeah.
Yeah. And then Mr. popped off, and Wanna flopped so hard.
Kara
Yeah.
is kind of the quintessential point dance group,
Oh, yeah.
Yo.
right?
Mr.
Like they of that era,
Sample number 1.
they're legendary of point dancing, you know? Like that was their thing. Because of that one choreography lady, I forgot. Bae something. I
Wait,
forgot her
she
name.
did that?
Yes.
I had
the
no
butt shaking,
clue.
dude.
Pitching it.
She's
Okay.
also Abracadabra. Did you know that?
I
Yep,
knew.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's both.
Wow, I had no clue. All I knew about was the very colorful cargo pants and the straps
Man,
that I don't
Kara,
know why they're
Kara,
there.
Kara as a group makes me so sad always. The whole Kara situation.
there. Yeah.
The fact that they kind of like they were competing against peak Wonder Girls and peak Girls' Generation. That competition is ridiculous, right? Like,
But it was a good time. It was,
was a good
good
time.
music.
and you know what shows how good they are? DSP as a company, it's like that was the peak for them. Like, let's be straight up here, right? I know DSP. Well, DSP had also great groups. They had Finkel, right?
Yeah.
But
Excuse was under them at some point.
just
too.
was under them. But let me put it this way:
501.
Kara,
Oh, yeah.
Kara declining was sort of like the downhill begin of DSP as a company. Like, I'm not saying DSP is a bad company by any means, but I'm saying is that if you look at the artists they house since Kara to now, is never been as good. You know,
Well, their follow-up was Rainbow, which was great, but
Rainbow's one of the most underperforming groups based on like how they like people perceive them,
yeah.
right?
Didn't DSP also debut technically Mire? Is that
Yep, they're Mide and they're also
Yeah,
April.
right.
Yep.
Wow. I had no clue.
All right. Here's a debate that always happens: is 21 versus Blackpink. I know, Mark. You said something last week. I was surprised that you had chosen one of the groups over the other.
You know what?
Do you take that back?
I have
You changed your
thinked,
mind?
I have used my brain. I changed my mind. Let's put 21 on here.
See, between the two, I have more like 21, to be honest, wasn't like a huge run either. But when I think of them and like their significance to international fans, it was a lot. Like I remember like they were on like the homepage on YouTube. Like I don't know for how long. Well, I was like, who is this group? Like I don't know who this group is, but they keep showing up. It keeps getting recommended. A lot of people are viewing the videos. I don't know. I feel like I even saw like like a variety show. They play "I Am the Best" and like, oh, people know the song, and it's been years since its release. So I feel like there is a certain significance to what 21 did for girl groups and like what girl groups could do as far as like concept and sound, I guess. Because it was kind of different. I feel like when you think of Fire and their debut, I wouldn't say that a lot of groups were doing the same thing as they were.
Anita,
so
I
feel
think
like
you're giving it a very big understatement.
understatement.
I would argue that 21 and their concepting was a game changer. It was an industry level game changer. Their existence was the foundation of the girl crush trend that has been ongoing for half a decade now, you know? Frankly speaking, it was pretty much unthought of for a girl group to have this kind of concept or styling, because if you look at all the girl groups at the time, sure, maybe they're a little aggressive or you know they have crushy concepts, but nobody was in your face about it as much as 21 has been, you know?
Do you know what my argument is?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this.
Sure.
Okay.
I would put 21 and Blackpink over Wonder Girls.
Oh.
Both? Okay. Elaborate.
Okay. Okay. At this point, Wonder Girls, if we think about their actual length of promotion, right?
Yeah.
And the amount of songs they've released, it's somewhat comparable to Blackpink at this point.
Really?
Yes.
Wonder Girls has about 13 tracks, 14 tracks. Blackpink's at about 11 or 12 right now.
Title tracks.
Title tracks.
Here's the thing. There's two arguments against that. One is that they tried to go to America, which was not a great idea.
They're accountable for that though.
Yes, they are. And here's the second argument is that the era was very different and you weren't expected to come back 2-3 times a year if you're an active group.
Okay, I could see that.
Girls' Generation coming back twice in the year of 2010 was considered legendary.
I think independently out of the three groups, I would put 21 first.
Oh, those three?
Okay, yes. I agree with that as well.
that.
I agree. Yeah.
Do we agree with that? We agree with this.
Yeah, let's
right?
make it Wonder Girls versus Blackpink.
Versus Blackpink. Is
Yeah.
literally
Oh my
what we're arguing. Because I think 21, I'm looking at this discography, they were releasing a ton of stuff. And they were all hitting number one. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for the significance of K-pop and allowing girls to do girl crush and things like that, 21, you got to put on there.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
I think that by the time Blackpink stops being Blackpink, it will be a clear that you got to put them above Wonder Girls. But I think at the moment it is a fervent debate between the two groups.
Okay. Here's what a lot of folks don't know about Wonder Girls and the context surrounding their success. Name me a popular girl group within 5 years before Wonder Girls.
Or 2000 and all right, when did they really?
Between 2003 and 2007.
There wasn't really one.
Why do you think that is? It's because girl group K-pop as an entire genre was considered a dead market.
Up until they came along?
Up until Tommy came along. It was
Tommy was a bop.
It was a huge complete bop. It was a complete everyone was doing the tell me
Everybody
tell
knew
I
the
do
dance.
I know the dance still. You know, like I here's what I'll tell you. The Wonder Girls existing is the sole foundation of all of girl group market right now. SNSD would not have been popular without Wonder Girls in the market. They would have been popular, they would have been successful, but not as much if Wonder Girls didn't happen. That's my takeaway, you know? Sure, their career ran short, but they changed up the industry so much where I just can't ignore, you know? Blackpink, yes, they also changed the game. Yes, they went international. But
yeah. I know Jewelry debuted in like 2001. How big were they early?
The only jewelry hit song I know
It's
is
2008's One More Time, right?
right, Baby One More Time.
Okay, see, okay, your argument does stand then.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah, no. Like Baby Vox? You gonna tell me Baby Vox is big as Tiara over there?
I mean, Baby Vox, the most memorable thing for me is that one stage accident where they all
Oh
fell
my
on the
God.
floor. That's the most legendary
my
stage
God.
accident in K-pop history when the thing flipped too quickly and they all fell.
Oh Jesus.
So
I see the
you would
argument.
put Wonder Girls, Warren, over Blackpink?
I would put Wonder Girls over Blackpink. And I know people listening to this are going to go,
controversial.
yo, this boy Warren over here pooping on Blackpink because he likes to poop on Blackpink all the time. No, they would be my solid number 6. That's what I'll tell you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, after without Wonder Girls, they would definitely be my top 5. That's my that's my takeaway here. Now, if the two of you guys vote for Blackpink instead of Wonder Girls, I mean, like, democracy takes the win. I can't really.
The reason why I would consider voting against Wonder Girls is that their discography essentially amounts to Tell Me So Hot and Nobody, right? Because Irony is a good song, but it's not at the level of the other 3, right? It's Tell Me So Hot and Nobody.
2 different
right?
tiers.
But it comes down to those 3 songs, right, for them.
Be My Baby.
Be My Baby's not at the level of those, even though it was hit number 1.
Okay, fair.
You right?
so
In terms of like long, like how long those songs have been popular, it's at it's not as like people ain't singing "Be My Baby" at the karaoke. Dude.
No.
Like
No.
they're not. It comes down to those 3 are the mega hits that they have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blackpink, it's like I would say Boombaya, Doo Doo Doo,
Kill This Love.
Kill Us Love, yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel like
right?
How You Like That was.
Or How You
pretty-
Like That because it's off
pretty
the album.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, How You Like That was a pre-release, not a title track.
Well, that's true.
True. That's true.
Technically.
That's true. That's true.
You
Technically.
won't put Lovesick Girls in there instead?
No, right?
No.
No. Their biggest song is "Do Do Do," right? Still, it has.
I think it's still Turu. Yeah.
God, this is tough. They line up on those type of metrics too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And I know people listening to this are gonna be like, Warren, you like to poop on Blackpink. You're pooping all over them again. Nah. I'm being for real,
if
guys.
Blackpink can have 1 or 2 more songs that maintain a number 1 status on the chart for like 2 to 3 months, they have the edge.
A legacy status, like it's on their
Yeah.
repertoire
Yeah.
of top hits.
And that's bound to happen. So I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's bound to happen. So if that's your caveat, I think you're going with Blackpink.
I think, well, here's the thing. I think at the moment, in this time, on August 8th, 2022, this is a coin flip, right? I think by the
yeah.
time we hit next year, or maybe a year in, by the time we hit
Couple months.
2024, this is not a debate anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, we'll have
There's
to.
this whole tour, man. It's
Anita,
probably-
who would you put on here between those 2?
Me?
Yes.
I feel like at this moment, this date, this time, I feel like I see the argument a little bit more strongly as far as like significance to the genre, to Wonder Girls, but like as you mentioned, I feel like Blackpink is so close to
I would put
solidifying
Blackpink.
it.
Man, I thought Anita would vote for Blackpink so that we don't get angry comments on YouTube.
I would vote Blackpink because I can see where they are at the moment, right? I think that globally they are absolutely ginormous.
Huge. Yeah.
Ginormous. This world tour is going to be absolutely legendary from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to Blackpink.
I definitely feel you. I think
I'm biased too because I was a Soshi, not a whatever the Wonder Girls fandom was.
they were the Wonder
The rivals.
people. Did they have
you
a
know?
fandom
I
name?
don't know what the fandom name is.
I don't think they had a
Was there a
fandom name.
fandom? I don't think there was.
They're Wonderfuls.
Okay, see,
Wonderful.
that ain't referenced all too often, is it?
No,
No,
not like
I
so
couldn't
ones.
remember.
Yeah, here's okay. The easy counter argument for what you said earlier is that Blackpink is doing world tours. The easy counter argument to that is, well, BTS has been doing world tours before then. This other group has been doing world tours before them. Well, yes, But I think Blackpink is probably the first K-pop girl group to achieve that status. Period.
Yeah.
Don't bring me the Silver Bell sisters from the 1980s because they went to China, Taiwan, and Japan. Don't mention me though. They don't count. I'm sorry. They're not K-pop.
Twice has had big world tours too. To be
Right. And it's just I very much recognize that Blackpink does have an incredible presence in the international side of things. Now, when I think about music as history, I like to prioritize game changers and people who changed the industry as their legacy.
Here's the argument. This would be a stronger argument for Blackpink if 21 didn't exist and wasn't from the same company.
That's exactly.
Is that your thing?
That's also the other thing.
Is that the thing? Okay. right? Okay.
If 21 wasn't here and we could do Wonder Girls and
Because
Blackpink.
here's the thing. The difference between Twice and Wonder Girls is way bigger than the difference between 21 and Blackpink.
Yeah. I guess.
I'm still gonna put Blackpink, but I feel like it's Wonder Girls, right? Because both of you want that, so it's that.
Yeah, by popular vote.
Wonder Girls.
But
Hey,
it's
Blinks,
a- it's a
Blinks,
tough
you know who to put the angry comments to. You know.
But
You
can
know?
we just say that all
No,
of
no,
us
no,
are
no,
kind
no,
of on
no, no,
edge,
no, no, no,
that they're gonna Blackpink is probably gonna make it by
Blackpink by the end of their
This
career,
time next year.
unless all of a sudden they say, "Oh yeah, we want to be solo artists now. We're not Blackpink anymore." Other barring that, which
no.
you know that is a 1% anxiety I have about their group.
What do you mean?
That they're all gonna go solo?
That they're just gonna go solo and end Blackpink at some point.
They've got to
Dang.
resign. They've got to resign after. Isn't
that
the
coming
7-year anniversary? No, it's wrapping up in like a year or two now. I think next year. I think.
I'm concerned. Let's just say that I'm concerned.
No, I don't think it'll happen. No.
don't
Well, here's the thing: they make so much money, right? They're just gonna offer them better terms.
Yeah, they have to.
The only other thing about this is I was like also thinking about if we eventually ever did this with solo artists, right, for K-pop.
Okay.
And it really depends on what you consider K-pop. But like people off the top of my head were like Boa, Rain, IU, and then Warren said we also need to include who was it?
Yuri.
Ihori. Yeah, I
yep.
think those, and then you would add one more person onto that essentially.
Who else did you mention? Rain, IU, Yuri.
Taeyeon might be up there.
No, I mentioned one other person. IU. Boa. 100%. Boa. Right?
There
Yeah.
we go.
And then you would add one more person, right? Do we agree? Yes. Right?
I think so.
Who are we adding as our fifth?
I don't know. I don't want to, dude. It's controversial if I add someone.
Zico.
He ain't K-pop, dude. He's former K-pop. What's Block B, dude?
Dean.
Dude, shout out to
Dean.
Big Naughty.
Shout out to Block B and B1A4, the B groups,
Oh
dude.
my gosh, I remember that.
Also, a shout out to who is it? Who released Warrior? Who was supposed-
BAP.
BAP, who was supposed to
BAP.
who was supposed to compete with BTS. You
Oh,
remember?
At
oh, that was
EXO.
the time.
At EXO, it was supposed
that
to be a
was
three-way
time.
battle. Yeah, that was a time. I don't know who you would add to this. People were saying Taeyeon potentially. I agree with that.
Same.
It also depends on how far back you go or what else you consider.
Let's put Ori on here. Do you guys know what that is?
No,
No.
Oh man, you guys.
leave it blank. Leave it blank. Let us know
Okay.
who you would include. Yeah.
Here, I'll underdash. You can fill
Overall,
it in.
though, this has been a fun thought experiment. I would like to thank everyone who suggested this. Let us know what you think. Just remember that I was the person who suggested Blackpink go on the thing. I just want to let you know that. Additionally, Warren was the one who suggested the old heads be on the guy group one. So Taiji and the boys. So if you don't know who
It's
they are,
understandable.
if you don't know who they are, it is important for us to remember our past before going to evaluate our future for K-pop. So please look into them as well. Historic group
Yeah.
there.
It's been a
Check out all the
history
groups.
lesson.
Guy group one I think was a lot more contentious because there's a lot of groups that are very close to there. 17, Super Junior, Shiny, you know, Dongbang Chingy, all of them. But it is what it is. So this ends the after show. You know, it's been a long episode again, I think, which is fun. I like these thought experiments. We'll probably come back with another one next week.
Oh, I think we're gonna do like a tier list next week. We haven't had those in a while.
What kind of? Oh, a fun one.
Well, originally before you suggested this, I was thinking like a girl generation title track tier list.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
I was also thinking like a late night snack World Cup.
No, we're doing Girls' Generation.
Okay.
I want to do that. I wanna talk about that.
Okay, fine.
I have very strong opinions about that.
Do you know?
Wow.
Yes.
Do you even remember all of them? I gotta check
My
up on
my
some of
favorite
your
Girls'
ones.
Generation song is not one you would think it would be. By the
It's
way.
it a
Kissing
B-side?
You.
Yes, Warren knows this about me. It's
Wait, no,
Kissing
I
You.
guessed.
No, it's
That's a
Kissing
good
You.
song. That's a good song.
Kissing you, baby.
It has Donghae in the
Donghae.
music video. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's my favorite one. All right, we'll see you guys next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.